So here in the so let me check the notes. Okay, so here is a syllabus for third chapter. Okay, so one third chapter one static shunt compensator. సో స్టాటిక్ షంట్ కంపన్సేటర్స్ ఏదైనా సో వాటికి సంబంధించిన డీటెయిల్స్ అన్ని కూడా మనం ఈరోజు చూద్దాం. సో స్టాటిక్ షంట్ కంపన్సేటర్. సో షంట్ కంపన్సేటర్ విచ్ ఆర్ కనెక్టెడ్ ఇన్ ద ప్యారలల్ టు ది ప్యారలల్ లైన్. ఓకే, సో ఈ లైన్స్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయి, సో ఎలా ఉంటాయి. సో మనకి సపోజ్ ఈ హియర్ ఒక ఇది పవర్ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ డివైస్ ఫ్యాక్స్ డివైస్. ఓకే, ఫ్యాక్స్ డివైస్ షంట్ కంపన్సేటర్. So shunt compensator is nothing but which are connected in which are connected in the parallel. Okay, if series connected unkondi series compensator, so parallel connect unte parallel compensator. So ఒక్కొక్క దాంట్లో ఏమి చేసాం. ఓకే, సో మనం ఏంటంటే స్టాటిక్, సో ఇట్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ సో స్టాటికల్ గా స్టేబుల్ గా ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి ఏంటంటే సో వితౌట్ హ్యావింగ్ ఎనీ రొటేటింగ్ పార్ట్స్, దట్స్ వాట్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ఎ స్టాటిక్ షంట్ కంపన్సేటర్. And here, so what are the objectives? So why we are going for the shunt compensation? Okay, so what are the types of the shunt compensation methods? Okay, and how it will be voltage control. Okay, so here is the shunt compensation, how it will be controlled. Okay, so what are the transient stability and power oscillation mapping and methods of control of gadget. Okay, so this notes is already shared in your Google Classroom. Okay, I have shared in the today. Okay, please check it. So if any screen share issues there, okay, you can download from the your Google Classroom and you can see that. Okay, and here, so we are having this step. So first we are going to study about the what is shunt compensation. Okay, so what is mean by shunt compensation, that we are going to study. Then we are going to what are the different types of the shunt compensation and what is the difference between at the last we are going to know what is the difference between the shunt compensation and series compensation. Okay, so in that, so mainly we are going to study about the that is the start curve. So static compensator, so it will be called as a static compensator. So it is shortly called as a start curve. So we cannot say that so static shunt compensator, so it is shortly called as a start curve. Okay, so in whenever the word comes in the start curve, so you have to think that it is a static shunt compensator. Okay, so it is a start curve. Okay, start curve is nothing but a static shunt compensator. Okay, so it is okay, in the short form they write as the start curve. Okay, so let us see the what we have in the shunt compensation. Okay, I think you are now seeing this static shunt compensator nodes. So if you not yet seen, I will again share. Okay, here is the third chapter. What are the, so we are going to study about the static shunt compensator. Okay, what are the objectives of the shunt compensation? What are the topics? Okay, that we are going to discuss. So here, so first it will be okay. What is the shunt compensation? That we are going to study. So shunt compensation mainly influence of the natural cash for the transmission line to steady the steady state transmittable power to control voltage profile along with the line. Okay, here what we are doing, so by using the shunt compensation, okay, the shunt compensation is used to influence the natural characteristics of the transmission line. Okay, we are going to compensate the natural characteristics of the transmission line to steady state transmitter. Okay, to steady state transmit power to control voltage profile. Okay, so whatever the voltage profile is there, so whatever the ratings of the power and voltage ratings are, that should be in a proper way. Okay, that we have to control. So if it is any characteristics change in the voltage, what will happen at the load inside will get the problem. Okay, to avoid such a problem, we are going to use the compensation. So that is the shunt compensation. Yes. So shunt connected fixed or mechanically switched reactors. So what we are going to control the voltage by using the shunt connected or mechanical switched reactors are utilized. So minimize the line voltage. Okay, so minimizing the line over voltage light load condition. Okay, if you see load variations is there. Okay, suddenly if load is changes, what will happen? So that will be affected on the grid. Okay, so we can say that whenever the flood conditions comes, okay, you can doing right. So nowadays, in a before 3 days, what happened due to the floods happened, total power is shut down, right? At that condition, what will happen? So it will be affected the grid. So whatever the grid is there, so if it is a grid is the interconnected system. So whatever the interconnected, that is a hydel, nuclear and thermal. Okay, so different voltage sources will. So the grid is interconnected. So if it is any fault is come here. Okay, so if it is any faults comes, what will happen? So it will be affected. So if any shutdown if suddenly take place, it will be affect the grid. So if it is grid is affected, total electricity will be damaged. So to avoid such a that, we have to control the voltage. Okay, so whenever the light load condition or overload condition, okay, so it will happen the we have to control either voltage conditions, whatever the voltage condition that is, should be in a proper way. Okay, it should not be greater than the rated value, or it should not be any less than the greater rated value. Okay, so it in a rated value should be in a rated value. Okay, so the voltage should be in a proper. So whatever the ratings value there, and plus or minus values will be also given. Okay, because whenever the voltage is there, okay, so due to the load connection, some of the voltage drops. So how voltage drop we have to control. Okay, that will also given in the transmission lines ratings. Okay, so now whatever the ratings the plus or minus 5% or 10%, whatever the ratings we are given, okay, that should be in a within the limit. So if it is the limits exceeds, what will happen? It will goes to the breakdown in the faults in the transmission. Okay, to avoid such a condition, what we are doing, so we have to control the transmission, okay, by using the shunt reactors. Okay, it is a mechanical switch reactors or shunt connectors. Okay, so that is a we have to control the voltage first thing. Okay, and shunt connected fixed mechanical switch capacitors are maintain the voltage under heavy load condition. Okay, here what we are doing, shunt connected, that is a mechanical switched capacitors are applied to maintain the voltage level under heavy load condition. So whenever the heavy load conditions are there, okay, what we are going to do, so alright, well, estimating the transmission, so that will be capacitors with it. Okay, so we have connected the capacitors. Okay, that will be controlled. Okay, so that will be maintain the voltage levels in the whenever the heavy load condition is there, that will be controlled. Okay, either we connect the reactors for overload conditions. Okay, so next is the capacitors for light load condition. Okay, so based the capacitor. Okay, so based upon the, yeah, so you can observe that is a So shunt connected fixed mechanical switch reactors. So reactors are used for the light load condition. Okay, so sorry, switched reactors are used for over voltage under light load condition. Okay, overload. So what happen if the load is less? What happen? It will have the higher voltage. Okay, at that condition we are going to using the, that is, switched reactor. Okay, so if it is load is high, the voltage drop is less, right? So if it is high voltage is there, what happens? The voltage will be varies with the load. So if it is heavy load condition, so voltage drop will be high. To at that condition, what we are going to, so to control the voltage we are using the switched capacitor. Okay, that's the next. We having the different types of the voltage regulations. So where compensator is used for voltage regulation. So we have the two types. One is at the midpoint type. Okay, at the midpoint to segment the transmission. Another is the at the end of it. So whenever the transmission is at the midpoint, we can control the voltage regulation, or another is the end. So you can see here is the midpoint regulation transmission segmentation. So here we can see that voltage value. Okay, we have the two the generators we have. So it is two-dimensional model. So we are going to do to prevent the voltage instability. So what we are doing to prevent the voltage instability as well as the dynamic voltage control, increase the transient stability, damp out the power. What we are doing, whatever the voltage instability is there in that, okay, that will be controlled. Okay, that will be is volt dynamic voltage control. Okay, if not, then what will happen? Increase the transient step. So if it is voltage variations is continuous goes on, what will happen? That will be goes to the increase in the transient value. Okay, so it will cause the power oscillation. So let me draw in the easy way. Okay, so what happen whenever the, what happens, the voltage, okay, that will mean your sine wave should be in there. Okay, so if it is sine wave, whatever it is a normal condition. So whenever the dynamic conditions are transient variations, what will happen? So it will be varied with like this. So it suddenly rises or down. Okay, at that it will goes to the normal. Due to these variations, okay, due to this variation, what will happen at the initial condition? So it will get done. Okay, so to avoid that conditions, what you have to do to control the transmission voltage should be in a proper way. Okay, that should be in a proper, we have to control the voltage, right? For this variation we need the voltage control. Okay, so what will be continuously flow, then what will happen? That will be causes the power loss. Okay, whatever the voltage is there, so that will cause total power waste. Okay, so here is the voltage, right? So whatever the instability, so if it is whatever the voltage instability, if it is continuously flows rate, what happen? It will be affected on the power. Okay, so this the diagram shows the how midpoint voltage regulation, okay, for the line segmentation. So what will be voltage, okay, midpoint voltage regulation for line. So how it will be connected? Okay, here we have the two transmission model. We have the two sources, that is the two voltage sources, nothing but here that's a generator model. Okay, and we have connected in the transmission internet interconnection. Okay, and we are using x by 2 are the their impedances. Okay, so that is nothing but a reactor, but the impedance is there, the transmission impedance is there. That is the x by 2 and here we are having the another controller. Okay, that is there. Okay, so how it will be that will be control is in from the midpoint control, that will be. So just I'm just today's class only for introduction to the shunt component, how it will be power will be 440. Okay, what is the need of the shunt compensation? Okay, that I'm going to explain. So here and another we have, okay, so end. Okay, so we have at the end. Okay, at the end of the voltage support. Okay, at the voltage end. So transfer going to connect the another. Okay, reactors based on the different connections we have the types. So this is the another model. So in the above model we have discussed that is the midpoint connection, right? So this is the end. So at the end, so reactor, whatever the reactor is there, they're going to another model. So you can see the what are the voltage levels are. Okay, higher is the. So in this we have the two models. One is the midpoint model. Okay, voltage regulation. Another one is the. So here are the two types. One is the midpoint control method. Okay, and one is the endpoint one. So at the end side we are going to connect. Okay, there's the two types. Now, so just we are giving the brief idea about the what are the compensator methods. Okay, so we'll next class we are going to detailedly discuss about the two types, and so let us see the what we are going to discuss in this day. Okay, so what are the topics we have in the syllabus? Okay, that we are going to discuss. So please verify the syllabus. So I have shared the notes in your Google Classroom. Okay, please check it. And while coming to the class, so if you read these notes first time while coming to the class, it will be easy for you while understanding.